Hey everybody, how's it going? So I figured I would finally get around to talking about selling our 2013 Volvo S60 all-wheel drive T5. Now, it was a process. I had it up on Craigslist, which I did eventually sell it through Craigslist. That's how it worked. I think it was either Craigslist or Marketplace. I forget. They're both about the same, but I had it up on both of those sites. I went to the dealer because we had to do the oil change. We had lifelong oil changes. And I figured, well, I'm having that done. I'm having the windshield replaced because we have zero deductible windshield replacement. And there was some chips, so had that replaced. And then, like I said, went to the dealer for that oil change. At the dealer, I was also asking them about the timing, about if that had been done, which was a whole weird conversation with them. And this is Bob Pincus of Colorado Springs in Motor City. That's why we didn't get another Volvo, because of Bob Pincus. We don't like the service advisors there. My wife feels like it's a women thing. I think it's all customers. They're just a really shitty attitude. So if you're looking at getting a Volvo in Colorado Springs, Bob Pincus? No, don't go there. Their service sucks as far as the service advisors. We had to fight a few things. Well, so I'm in there doing get the oil change done. And I also ask him, well, we had that weird service where, like, from 0 to 30,000 miles, things were covered. Things weren't covered at, it might have been up to 40,000 miles. 50,000, 60,000, nothing was covered. And then 60,000 to 100,000 miles, everything was covered. I don't know. If I can't explain it, that was what we were told. So we were told that the big service, which would be the timing belt, would be done at 100,000 miles. But then we had the issue of that deal or whatever only being for so many years and not for the mileage, which they kept telling us mileage, but then when it came to it, it was like, oh, well, no, that was 7 years and you're over 7 years. Well, sorry, we don't drive that many miles. Oh my God. You never told us. So I think that's why I didn't get done, but we thought it might have been done. But the conversation with the service advisor was weird. I was like, I think we might have this done. Can you pull this up? Maybe it wasn't done. And he goes, well, you would remember having that done. And I'm like, why would I remember that, man? That's exactly, I was like, why would I remember that? He goes, well, because that's a very expensive service if you had the timing belt done. And I'm like, well, how much does that cost? Oh, it costs $1,300 to $1,500. I go, and I would remember that? He goes, well, most people would remember that. I was like, no, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not rich, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to remember if we had that done a year or two ago. No, that's not going to, I don't know what to tell you, man. I would not remember that. So I just thought it was a very weird conversation with him that he was very adamant that I would remember that. And he pulled up, no, you didn't have that done. And I don't know. So Bob Pincus, I wouldn't recommend them. So the dealer, so while there, they appraised the car. They told me they'd give me $6,000. And I was like, no, not when online says 8 to 10. You're not making $2,000 off this, especially in this market. A dealership can easily flip the car. This was like 2 to 3 months ago now. No, that ain't gonna happen. And the sales guy seemed very mad that I took up his time or something. I don't know. He thought it was that serious. I told him, I'm not trying to waste your time. I just want to see if this is something we would entertain here. That's exactly how I put it. But he seemed very upset that I wouldn't take the 6,000 at the end of the appraisal. Okay. So I checked with CarMax. CarMax was, of course, this is their online price. I tried to go into the place and it was like packed and they short staffed. I don't know, but I was like, I'm not waiting around 2 hours to get an appraisal, and they act like that was normal. And I don't know. I've tried to go to CarMax over the years to buy a car, to get a value on cars, and I just can never get anything done there. So, but online they claimed they would give me $8,000. I don't know if that's true because there's a lot of fine print there that talks about, well, if we show up and the car is less than what you said, well, they're going to say it's less than what you said. So I don't know how true that $8,000 is, but that's what it said online. A buddy of mine, a good friend, he kept saying that I should try Carvana, try Carvana. I didn't want to try Carvana. I had no interest in Carvana, but I went ahead and tried it because he kept kind of pestering me to try it. I don't know. Maybe he has a thing for Carvana, but they're going out of business. Their stock is way down. They've sold cars without titles. You can look that up on YouTube videos. And, Carvana didn't seem like something I'd want to even trust going through. But for fun, I did go through their online uh, appraisal, and they said $4,874. Now, of course, that's without seeing the vehicle. Are they going to be like CarMax, show up and say, yeah, that's not quite what you said. You didn't mention this over here or something. I don't want to deal with that type of thing. You might be like, well, but you should represent it perfectly. Well, I can easily miss a scratch or might not think that's a big deal per what they say on their site. And then they come out and they're like, oh, no, no, we're going to offer you less. Well, anyways, $4,874 is a lot less than the dealer. Obviously, the dealer at $6,000 would win if I just wanted to go that route. Well, the route I obviously went is I sold it for myself, or I sold it myself, I should say. I sold it at $9,000, and we had it listed for 10. And the whole timing belt thing was the main issue there. People were really worried about. I called a shop that my buddy's family owns and who I've dealt with recently, and they said, really, you could go 120,000 miles, and we were just over 100,000 miles. So yeah, it's something somebody would want to look at doing, but there was no issues. Car garage kept taken care of as far as mechanically because we had the lifetime oil and we had the other weird warranty thing with Bob Pincus. But for the most part, things were taken care of. The steering rack had been replaced at one point. I think the struts were completely done. That was under warranty. Trying to think. We had a new O2 sensor because a mouse, ate through the wire at one point in time. Occasionally in the winter, they would throw the engine code, which was just for the stupid charcoal canister, but it was only in the winter. You just live with that with the European cars. Not a big deal. But we sold it for $9,000. I think the person got a fair deal with how the market is. Reliable vehicle, upkept. I had just put in, name brand Philips HID brand new headlight bulbs. I had in some Chinese ones. I was like, no, they seem pretty dull at night. I'm not going to sell. And I had just done the rotors and the brake pads. The front I had done myself. I had taken to the buddy shop to do the rear, which they had to do a bunch of stuff because a bolt had broken off. But anyways, they had a new like high-end rear rotor and brake pad kit put on it. So I think the person got a fair deal. Yeah, I mean, if that light came on in the winter, are you going to replace the charcoal canister? Probably not. But that's selling a car in 2022 and the weird pricing structure, which makes it hard to list for yourself because you're like listing you're like, I don't know. I mean, these are the prices I see online. These are the prices people are claiming to get, very high pricing. I think we got more than we would have if it wasn't this weird market for $9,000. I think we would have probably got around 6 in a normal market, sad to say, because these Volvos don't keep their value. They just don't keep their value. So if you're buying the car and you're not buying it for a long term, like, we bought it pretty much for a long term. The wife just was like, I want a new car type thing. And luckily we have the cash and we went and just paid cash for a new car, the 21 Bronco Sport Badlands edition, fully loaded. So she just really wanted a new vehicle, and that's why we did that. Otherwise, we would have just kept that vehicle. They got extra they got the OEM rims, they got the aftermarket rims that had snow tires. Snow tires were still decent, and yeah, probably get one more season out of the summer tires, but definitely they were going to need replaced. So there were some things like that. You're not going to get everything brand new as on a vehicle, right? It's not going to be perfect, because if it's 100% perfect, why would I be selling? Some people would probably sell a perfect car. I'm the person that is doesn't need to sell it. I was using it, and I had been using it for a while. It was just a third car and using it for the gas mileage. And I ran to Tennessee at one point. That's where the extra mileage came in. And, I was using the vehicle. It's just I got tired of playing musical cars with, the new vehicle, my truck in the driveway, in the Volvo, parking in the street one. And I don't like doing that long term because neighbors, I do respect my neighbors. The first day I get a neighbor that doesn't respect me is when I stop caring. But we have a good group of homes. So, I don't like parking in the street if I don't have to for long periods of time. And like I said, I think we were pretty fair with the price. And I don't know who would go with a Carvana for $4,874. I guess that's why their stock is way down. And plus, probably bad business decisions. Not to mention, you can see stories on YouTube about them selling cars that they don't even have the title to and selling stolen vehicles. I mean, pretty cringeworthy. They were having that whole car vending machine set up. I don't know. I thought that was pretty gimmicky. I don't know. I think CarMax, if you're going to go a route, that might be a route to go. Like I said, I don't think they would have held true to the 8,000 mark, but how much would they have come down? I would have done if they came out to the house and were less than 6, which is what the dealer offered me. I would be like, no, I'm not doing that, And they probably, I don't know what happens in that regard. Do you haggle, or are most people just like, I just want the car gone at that point? Okay, fine, you're only going to give me 5, and settle with that? I personally wouldn't. I'd be like, bye, truck driver. But there's probably something in the fine print, So I would only have done the CarMax thing if I could turn it in at their dealership in town, because that way they could look it over. That would be the final price, right? And they would cut me a check. So CarMax would have been it. I would have tried that route if I didn't sell it for 9, but I figured even if I came down to 8,500, that was still $500 more than CarMax. So why would I sell it to CarMax, right? And obviously Carvana wasn't even in the running. Worst case would have been dealer, like I said. So hopefully this just gives you an idea, selling a vehicle, what you could expect in that price range. And always try selling it yourself. I don't know why more people don't sell their vehicles themselves. Why not? You can see, I mean, I got 1,000 probably plus dollars on the vehicle and made somebody happy. They had owned Volvos before, so they kind of knew the nuances of having a European car, which I was happy for, somebody that was buying it that had Volvos before. That didn't seem like they were broke. They seemed like they, have good jobs, and it was just a used car. And it was actually for the son, but the wife was like, I've had Volvos. Oh, this is fun, blah, blah, blah. We're buying it for her son. So perfect vehicle for a kid, where they're probably little things, but the little things don't matter because they're going to ding it up. But mechanically and inside, everything worked. Nothing's broken. We're not hard on cars, pressing buttons. That's what always amazed me about looking at used vehicles, that buttons are broken, buttons are worn off, steering wheels are, the leather's twisted. What the hell do you do in your vehicle, I mean, it should just be normal wear and tear. It seems like people are pretty excessive with their wear on their vehicles. Yeah, we have scratches and this and that on the outside, but personally, I don't care. I don't care about the outside. I don't live on the outside. I don't look at the outside. I'm driving from the inside. That's all I care about. And, the mechanical aspect and what it looks like on the inside. I don't care about the outside. You're going to get dings. Unless what? It's a garage queen, and then why did I buy the vehicle to begin with? But anyways, hopefully this gives you an idea. Y'all stay well. Take care, my friends. Have a good one. Bye.